Gravity Jack is a mobile software developer specifically focused in the augmented reality space. They're one of 3 in the world that do what they do, and they're the only business in the US that does what they do.
We create augmented reality, which is you can overlay objects and images onto a real-world scene as you're viewing it. We started 2 years ago with 4 people and kind of a vision, and at that point nobody had even really heard of augmented reality. Here we're actually augmenting this actual printer and changing it in real time. So as you look at your printer, you could hold it out and the technician could say, pull out tray 1, insert paper. One of our core focuses when we started was that we want to remain as agile as possible. And in that vein, I've ran companies where we had 40 servers and 4 IT staff, and it's truthfully a pain. So one of the decisions we made early on was everything was going to be in the cloud. We don't even want a single server. Like if one of my guys comes, hey, we want a server, I'm like, no, we're going to put it in the cloud. And that's where Second Watch is critical to our organization. We showed them everything we had. We showed them how we had it set up, and they weren't pushy about it, but they said we can maintain that system, which was also in the cloud, or we can move this to Amazon Web Services, which will optimize it in these ways and actually save you money at the same time.
Their previous provider was a domestic provider, so they could scale domestically pretty well. The problem is, let's say they scaled and quadrupled their business in the next year domestically and all of a sudden had to move internationally. So then they run into scalability problems and moving on to a new provider or having multiple providers at a time where their business is increasing dramatically. So why not take the step first to say, hey, let's move to a scalable platform, and how do we make changes over time so that we're ready for that large onslaught of customers?
We've grown to 40 employees in 2 years. Have experienced over 300% growth in revenue and people. We just moved offices again because we're growing so fast. If you're moving server rooms, there's logistics that you have to deal with, whereas we pick up our desks and our laptops and we move.
I think Gravity Jack is a pretty unique company. I think they're working on technology that's going to change the way you and I look at mobile. They have a lot of interesting software applications that they need to roll out to a very large audience. They need to scale their infrastructure as they roll out to that audience, and that's where they're going to need expertise, they're going to need people and support to be able to do that, and that's where Second Watch can help. We're really focused in on the infrastructure piece so that they can focus in on the software side.
It's about focus. It's about laser focus. I don't want my PhD in astrophysics who writes algorithms for augmented reality to be worried about a server going down. I want him to be worried about writing algorithms.
We are experts in the infrastructure side, so we help them maximize their infrastructure and allow them to focus on what grows their business and where their value is to their clients.
By not having to deal with that, we maintain what our business is about. It's just like, if I needed a monitor, I wouldn't go try to make a monitor, I buy a monitor. And that's how I view Second Watch. Amazon Web Services has a trust factor that's involved there. I know my data is protected. I know that things are just going to go smooth, and that's what I want. I don't want to actually have to think about it. If I have to think about it, that's a problem. The value in using Second Watch for this setup is I don't have to actually keep up with everything Amazon Web Services is doing because they move fast. Second Watch does that for us, and we get to take advantage of those improvements, but without having to learn them and understand them.
The role of Second Watch is really to help you understand what options are available to you and what's appropriate for you to leverage, and then help you through the transition.
There's really not that many people out there that have this expertise like Second Watch does to take it from step A to step, whatever, and manage it for you so that you don't have to deal with it. You've got Amazon Web Services, but the missing component was what Second Watch does. I am a big fan and evangelist for Second Watch, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this video is I appreciate how well and smoothly we migrated and how well they've communicated with us and how it's just completely hands-off for me. That's exactly what I wanted, was just the ability to say, Second Watch, you do this, you do your part, I'm gonna do mine.